Last year, we were fortunate enough to follow 100 of our winners in particular detail. 100 of the people who won what we called last year a Business Opportunity Grant. And I'm pleased to say that today, this morning, we're going to open our event with one of those winners, Nik Haigh. And Nik is from a fantastic organisation called Grassroot Soccer. And I'm not going to tell you anything about Grassroot Soccer because there's nobody better to tell you about Grassroot Soccer than Nik himself. We did also make some short videos last year, and again, a number of you had said, well, how can I get my message out? And here's an example of one of the companies who did so well last year and stayed in touch with us to such an extent that we made a short video about them, that we've used extensively in our marketing around North America, and also for a 2-month period showed these videos on board all of our long-haul aircraft. So millions, literally millions of people will have seen the video that you're about to see. So we're going to show the video about Grassroot Soccer, and then I'm going to welcome to the stage Nik Haigh from Grassroot Soccer.
I tell you, I'm quite nervous being up here today, but it's a true honor to be speaking to such an impressive audience, and on top of that, to be among the other incredible speakers you have today. So I'm going to keep this quite short so you have as much time with them as possible. As I said, this opportunity to speak today, I couldn't pass it up because British Airways has been such an incredible partner to us at a really important time in the history of our organization. So in order to tell you more, I really should start at the beginning of Grassroot Soccer. Here's a photograph of a team called the Highlanders. If any of you have ever been to Zimbabwe, you know the Highlanders is the most popular team, the most successful team in Zimbabwe. One of the founders of Grassroot Soccer is here in the second row. Now, something happened to this team. Today, 1/3 of the players have died from AIDS. And this is the serious part of the presentation this morning. And just to put that into context, in a very short period of time, 30 years, 25 million people have died, 16 million young people have been orphaned, and today there are 33 million people who are HIV positive globally. But Dr. Tommy Clark and Matembe, two of my good buddies, guys I used to play football with, soccer for the US audience, decided to do something about it, and they started Grassroot Soccer. A very simple idea that basically there were 3 core truths. 1, that AIDS is preventable, and that's a powerful statement. 2, that soccer is the most popular game across Africa. I mean, it's the most popular game across the world. Half the planet watched the World Cup. And 3, that to fight back and push back against this destructive disease, you had to work with young people in education. So here's a powerful quote that we often refer back to, and we're talking about businesses today. One thing Grassroot Soccer we try to always do is focus on our core mission of preventing HIV infections. So it's a quote we come back to again and again. There really are 3 key themes to what we do. One is that kids learn best from people they respect. Learning is not a spectator sport, and that it takes a village to really make change. And coming on to some of the photographs, here's Gilbert, who's an incredible man, former captain of the national team, and he's out face-to-face with the Grassroot Soccer participants talking about his personal story. I mean, it's changing, but there's still a huge stigma attached to HIV. So the fact that he comes out and talks about it with young people is really powerful. 2, learning is not a spectator sport, so to get people engaged, make it dynamic, is a great way to teach and learn. And really the model of Grassroot Soccer is the scholar-athlete. And then finally it takes a village, as I said, and here are 3 photographs, 3 examples of how we work with local community partners. So there's a school from Zambia on the top photo. In the middle, there's a football team in Zimbabwe. And then on the bottom, there's a school we work with. It's actually an NGO in South Africa. And I think one thing I'd like to get across today is the importance of partnerships. And you all know that. But partners have really made Grassroot Soccer what we are today. early on, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation got involved and supported us and took us to another level. We then got Nike on board, and incredibly for us, last year British Airways got involved. So to have Bill and Melinda Gates, Nike, and British Airways all supporting grassroots soccer, it's a really major deal for us. Brings me on to today. So since 2002, 380,000 young people have gone through our curriculum. And there are 12 key lessons that they all go through. And now they're part of the grassroots soccer team. And they go out into their communities and teach their brothers and sisters what they've learned. Brings me on to British Airways. I'm the one person at Grassroots Soccer based in Europe. Although you hear the American accent, I was born in England, and I've lived here for the past 7 years. I played professional soccer for a number of years, and then I was a banker. And I'm still trying to figure out how I got into grassroots soccer, and so are my parents, to be honest with you. But I'm thrilled to be part of it. It really combines my passion with my experience. So when a friend in New York, Ethan Zahn, some of you may know his name, he won Survivor Africa, and he was one of the original guys also who founded Grassroots Soccer and put some of his money into the organization. Ethan emailed me and said, "You've got to check this out." So I checked out the competition. Immediately I said, "We need to apply to this." So I kind of skipped my meeting, sat down. I only had a few days and started filling out the application. And having, as I said, been born in England, I knew the strength of the British Airways brand. I mean, it truly is one of the best airlines in the world. And so it meant a lot to us to be connected to British Airways. On top of that, as I said, 2010, the World Cup was held in South Africa, as you all know. And it was a big opportunity for us, grassroots soccer. So to have these flights, to go to these meetings and have these face-to-face meetings was critical. And on top of that, we definitely took advantage of shipping opportunity. I'll come on to that. So one example, I'm going to go through a few examples of how the flights have specifically helped us.